What's up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of Behind the Facade. For any of you guys who don't know what I'm talking about when I say yield compression, I'll give you an example. If you have £100 in the bank and you're getting a 10% interest rate, you're going to get £10 per year interest. Well, that would be, in real estate terms, that would be equivalent to a 10% yield. But yield is impacted by all sorts of other factors. If you're in the centre of London, you've got properties there that are selling at like 1% yield, and that's because they're such prime locations. There is a huge amount of people who would buy that property even at just 1% because the capital appreciation is quite high. If you're buying in, say, a rural part of Ireland or anywhere for that matter, the yield is going to be more like 10%. If you've got a property in the central business district in New York City or London or Paris or something like that, it's absolutely gold dust. And there are people buying property at a 1% yield because it's like buying a piece of gold. You can buy the property and it'll take 100 years of income for that property to pay itself off. But they tend not to fall in value. There'll be very few risks with a property like that. I see people sometimes write to me saying, Gavin, I'm looking slightly out of town, or I'm looking in the countryside because the prices are much better. The prices are better, but that does not mean that you're going to enjoy the same kind of level of uplift in value, yield compression, all of these things. So you might buy at a low value, but it's probably going to grow at a lower amount as well. So you need to be aware of all these things. Also, the sector that you're in is also going to affect the yield. At the moment, industrial property, the yields are typically around 8 to 10%, maybe even lower than that now that it's so popular. Retail, on the other hand, when Amazon came along, retail became less popular. 10 years ago, you could buy retail at 1 to 3% yield in the prime location. So retail was hot. It was primarily because if you're in a busy location where huge volumes of shoppers go, that's a very, very rare location. Then we get into the size of the property, the quality of your tenant, the age of the building. All of that will impact your yield. And then at the end of the day, interest rates. So falling interest rates usually reduces the yield on a property as well. So you buy something for 100,000, if you're getting 10,000 a year in rent, your yield or your cap rate is 10%. If your property is paying you only 5,000 and you paid 100,000 for it, you got a 5% yield. It means that you're getting 5% from the value that you put in the property. If it's in a good location and if all of these factors that I mentioned before, if they are favorable, then you will see yield compression. Your 5% will be compressed to 4% or to 3%. And if you're, say, on a 10% yield, you might see that compresses to 9, 8 or 7%. And when that happens, you get a value increase. I'm not sure whether I've confused everyone with that or not.